We'll try to join with Tom Gross on Skype from London. Tom, can you hear us now?
Yes, hello.
Hi. So let me ask you, is there a reason why you believe the worshippers at this specific mosque were targeted?
Well, there is a possibility. In the past, this mosque has been one of the most radical mosques in the whole of Europe, if not the Western world. It's had various associations with terrorists. For example, the so-called shoebomber, Reid, worshipped at that mosque. In 2002, the Guardian newspaper reported that weapons training had taken place inside the mosque. There was a plot to do with ricin in a nearby Wood Green suburb, and the police raided the mosque. Zacarias Moussaoui, who was one of the 9/11 attackers or potential attackers, also worshipped at this mosque. However, the mosque has been cleaned up, so to speak, in recent years. It was shut down by the police for a while. It was reopened. It's more moderate. It's more inclusive today. Nevertheless, previous incidents go on being reported in the media. For example, the trial of Abu Hamza in New York, who was an Imam at the mosque, was much more recent. So the mosque has been in the news. HSBC Bank closed down the mosque's bank account a couple of years ago, again because of previous problems at the mosque. So potentially white extremists think of this mosque as some kind of haven for al-Qaeda-types, which is possibly why they targeted the mosque. But of course, the worshippers there last night have nothing to do with al-Qaeda or terrorism, as far as we know, and they were innocent people attacked, probably because they were Muslims on the street outside the mosque.
Would you say there is now a new threat to Muslims these days?
There's definitely a very heightened atmosphere in Britain. Look, there's several things going on at once. For example, there was no new government as a result of the recent election. The Brexit talks, which are Britain's most important talks since the Second World War, begin today in Brussels. There's a minute's silence at 11 a.m. following the horrible fire last week in the Tower Block in West London. So there's a very heightened atmosphere in the UK. There are, of course, the recent terror attacks in Manchester and London, and there is potentially increased Islamophobia, increased hostile relations between communities. So this attack today or last night may be within that context.
Now, just a few more words. What is the atmosphere like on the streets of London? Are people afraid?
Well, people are still somewhat afraid following the terror attacks a couple of weeks ago in London and elsewhere in Manchester. However, people go about their normal business. It's a city of millions of people, and people don't have a choice but to continue. There are going to be increased police presence at mosques. The Mayor, Sadiq Khan, announced this morning. Ramadan continues, so there are greater numbers of worshippers going to mosques, and there are also worshippers coming out of mosque, having broken the Ramadan fast late in the evening, as was the case last night, which is why there were quite a fairly sizable group of men gathered outside Finsbury Park Mosque last night.
Okay, thank you very much. That's Tom Gross.